guys, what is going on? It's Catman227 here, and I'm back with some more Smite God review. And the next god on our list is Yemoja. Yemoja is quite an interesting character, in my opinion. So, I actually picked her up late because she's not exactly one of the main gods that you hear about all the time. Because whenever you normally think of like a date, like an ocean deity, you either think of Trident or Poseidon or literally anything but Yemoja. I actually did try to do some research on Yemoja, and I can't really. She goes by a bunch of different names, and I couldn't really figure out exactly how to pronounce it or even what people believe in her. But that's not what we're talking about today. I just wanted to mention that because if you do try to do your own research on her, you'll find that finding correct information about her at all is quite hard for some unknown reason. I'm not exactly sure why or what the hell's going on there. I would just recommend maybe reading up on the lore that the game provides you because they've done their research and they came up with information. So I don't know where they came up with that or how they found that out, but whatever. So Yemoja is a very unique character because she's not typically like anything else. Your mana bar down below isn't actually a mana bar. It's the game calls it that, but that's not exactly what it is. So it regenerates over time. So you never really have to worry about going back and using a mana potion or going back into the spawn to regenerate it. It just kind of does it mid match, which is great. But you don't gain or you don't really gain mana throughout the duration of the match. Like anytime you level up or build a new item or something like that, you don't really you get more health because you're a guardian, obviously, and you do pretty low damage with her projectiles. Um, but I would classify her more as a utility character, not so much a tank. She can heal with that ability there, as you just saw. I'm not really going to get into a lot of combos with her because there's not really any combos. This ability right here will stun them if you manage to hit somebody. You could probably angle it in such a way where it won't miss as easily. But I mean, if you can get multiple enemies lined up, you can get an angle. You can actually stun them, which then you'd be able to use that right there, that little ball, which you can cluster them together. So if you pull back on the thumbstick, or if you pull your little cursor on the ground there forward, then you can cluster it up, or you can spread it out. This ability is by far her coolest. This will stun and do damage. And the way that I used it here is the way that I recommend that anybody use it because essentially what it is if you trap them against the wall, they can't really run out of it, so they're forced to get hit by it, which is what happened there. But if you're out in the middle of the field, like where I'm at right here, and use it, you can use your portal. Excuse me, I'm going to cough throughout the duration of this video. I'm still sick. But the portal that she puts down, or the little vortex, or whatever you want to call it, um, it will change depending on the distance away from you that you place it. I don't know if that makes sense or not. I think I worded that really weird, but that's the best way I can describe it. So, whenever you put down your ultimate, your tidal wave, what you can do is put your portal down, and it will force them, if they're running away. Right here, if you place it like that, it will force them back through it, so that way it'll force them deeper into the wave, and then you can hit them, kill them. Your teammates can capitalize on it. You can basically stop them from running away if you can place it right. Or you can use it as a your own personal speed boost to get out of danger or to whatever. Either way, it works. It's personally one of my favorite abilities in the entire game, just because of how much I rely on it. Um, That little projectile that you just saw is your healing. So basically, how that works is you throw it out, you hit a teammate with it, and then it will bounce like a wave from teammate to teammate that's in the general area of the one that you hit, and then it will return back to you and heal you. So everybody gets healing with this ability, which I love. So you're a guardian who's extremely tanky. Uh, I think I do die a few times in here, but I've gone entire rounds where the enemy just they couldn't kill me as Yemoja. Yemoja is definitely one of the best tanks in the game because all you really need to do is focus on healing, stunning, and maybe coming in from like a side flank to where you can catch all the guys from retreating into your wave and then hit them. So kind of cast your wave or your ultimate uh, at like a side angle because you'll be able to catch them a lot better instead of them just running away. Uh, but I've actually noticed that you can, once you obviously wait your ability timer, because whenever your abilities are off cooldown, or on cooldown, I should say, you obviously can't cast them. But while they're on while they're on cooldown, what you can do is you can spam um, your basic attack, and that will actually help you get more mana back. It's not much, but I have noticed that if you use your attacks and actually get hits, you actually gain a couple of mana points back, and this can be really useful when you're waiting for your abilities to be able to be used again. Especially if you need to heal, and you're gonna want to heal quite often. Sometimes I'll use all my mana just to heal my teammates. Um, Now, for the wave doesn't do a massive amount of damage. It's mostly used to finish people off. So if you get everybody down to like really low health, you can go ahead and you can pop it. Try to The idea is to try to trap people. So like you could probably, I don't know. Normally it's not a good idea to do this. I don't really promote going multiple of the same class, but I have found a very interesting strategy you may want to try if you are in a party scenario with a friend. If you are using yemoja and your teammate or your friend that you're playing with likes to play Ymir, you can actually use his wall to stop people from running away. So they have to either rush your team and you guys can basic attack them to death, or use whatever abilities you have to kill them, especially if you have a Medusa. Medusa would be an amazing pick to pair up with a Yemoja Ymir combo because, well, freeze them in place. Yemoja can hit them with her abilities, which are sometimes very difficult to hit, especially if the enemy's moving around. Ymir, though, slows them down. Easy pickings for Yemoja. You want to put down your tidal wave and catch people in it? Ymir can stop that. He can put up that wall and stop people from running away. Now, obviously, if you can do what I suggested before and just use Yemoja's portal that you can place down to force them back in it, but that's not really reliable. It only takes up, just a small portion of the gap in between the two waves that clash together. So you kind of have to place it direct center and just kind of hope and pray that it works. But yeah, it doesn't always happen like that. Like right here, a good majority of these guys escape. See, only one gets hit, uh, which is fine. I did get a hit with it, so that's all fine and dandy. Um, but it's preferred to try to hit as many as possible. So if you can, try to trap them, which it's very difficult to do that. Um, Surprisingly enough, Loki is a very good pick to pair up with Yemoja as well, because Loki has his teleport ability, So you can go ahead and teleport right to the other side of where Yemoja's ulting, and you can either force people back into the wave, or you can just straight up kill them, which is really good. And like I was saying before, if you have a Medusa, then it would probably be best to pair up with Ymir. And if you have a Ymir Loki, uh, if you have Ymir Loki and Yemoja and Medusa, well, that's just one hell of a team right there. That you're going to absolutely destroy with that. That is a lot of DPS. Medusa's already one of the best DPSs in the game as it is. And then you mix Loki in with that, and if you're a good Loki player and you know how to do him well, yeah, he's definitely a force to be reckoned with. I've seen it done a few times, and I've even done it myself because I do have a friend who's a really good Loki player, and yeah, that's pretty much all he plays. And whenever he plays Loki, he wants me to play Yemoja because it, and that's even good anyway. So even if you see a Loki player, which you know is 50-50 whether or not they're actually going to do good or not. But if you want to be a support, the best support that I've found is Yemoja, which is funny because she's the strongest tank in the game, uh, at least in my opinion. Because I have gone a lot of games in a row and just hadn't died with Yemoja. If you play her smart, of course, know when to retreat and all that. She's definitely a force to be reckoned with. Uh, Now, let's go up against some people that she's not all that good with. Other Guardians, all of them. She is not good at that. They can pretty much always shut her down. Ymir can really shut her down, especially, which is ironic considering that's her best friend if it's on her team. But her worst enemy, and yeah, it's not. Yeah, it's bad. If you see a Ymir as Yemoja, you might want to just take a step back and let one of your other teammates handle it. Because yeah, Yemoja is not going to be able to do enough damage to kill him. You're if you want to kill people with Yemoja, you have to go for the more squishy targets, and even then you have to be real selective. So you got to go for people like maybe like Nox, maybe like Merlin, Soul, uh, hell, even Medusa, Scylla. Even that's a pretty interesting one to go after. Uh, well, maybe not Scylla. Scylla has an escape method, and so does Medusa. And Medusa could probably shred you, but at least it's not like Scylla, where Scylla can trap you and hold you in place. I went over that in my Scylla video, but I don't know. I think overall she doesn't have too many weaknesses, but assassin classes like Thor and like Thanatos, they will fuck you up if they get half the chance. Any pretty much any character that can go up in the air, even Sun Wukong can beat up a Yemoja if he's careful. Horus too. Any character that can dive onto Yemoja and harass her, like Set or Fenrir, something like that. That's more along the lines of what I'm talking about. Like get up in your face and slash you to death. You know that's what's gonna chew through that Yemoja's health. But nothing's ever gonna be able to stop that mana pool. The reason why Yemoja is so powerful is because not only is she, what makes her the best tank in the game is not her massive amount of DPS, her stun locks, um, not even like her crowd control abilities. It's more along the line. She doesn't even have the most health out of everybody. What makes her the best tank is the fact that she can heal herself and her allies, as well as have an unlimited source of mana. So, very, very, very few times will you need to go back to spawn in order to refill your health. And well, you can't really refill your mana because if you try to go refill your mana, you have to let it recharge on its own. Going back to spawn simply just doesn't bring your mana back up. But it goes back up quickly enough anyway, so it doesn't really matter if you just kind of stay back a little bit, like what I'm doing right here, taking out the minions, waiting for the enemy team to push up. She's not really an attacker, so I wouldn't try to do any heavy assaults with her. If your teammates are all moving up and you have all your abilities off cooldown, then yeah, by all means, move up, pop your abilities, stun people, use your tidal wave. But it's she's not really the best at like frontline assault. She's good at trapping people. She's really good in joust and conquest, but not so much. She's okay in arena, which is where I film these episodes because it's just easier for me. But uh, I don't know. She's not all that good in arena. I mean, I guess you can probably say some people say she shines in arena because she has more enemies that can trap or that can get trapped. But I feel like yeah, that's true. While Yemoja does have more enemies that she can trap, it also makes it a lot harder because you have to actually catch them in the wave. Uh, but yeah, overall, would I recommend her? Yes. Pick up Yemoja if you haven't. I think she comes free with the game, if I'm not mistaken. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and show you guys the build. Alright, here you go, guys. This is the build. As you can see, there's a lot of health and a lot of physical and magical protection, which is definitely mandatory if you're going to play this character. If you guys have enjoyed, as always, leave a like, a comment, and maybe hit that subscribe button and hit that little bell icon so you get notified for every video that I do. And let me know in the comments below which god you want me to review next time. And I will see you guys in the next one. Later.